Sunday, November 9th. I don't know how we got here so fast, but I have not recorded anything in several weeks. I did recently do a sprinting live thing with Bree, which was super fun. I just adore her so much. And just a huge thank you for my followers showing up and her followers showing up and just getting to hang out. I think that that's something that really motivates me, is just knowing that there are other people at the same stage that I am and working towards the same goals. And I love that. So what I kind of want to do for this video is just go over what's happened and where I've been, and updates on my querying, the projects that I'm working on, my agenting, the books that I've read, and then kind of the hobbies and other things that I've picked up while trying to refill a little bit more. I think I've said this before in other videos, but for me, I tend to be a binge writer. So I will binge all the work in 3 months, and then I'll need 3 months or more to recover. And that's just my process. It's what works for me. It's what keeps my momentum going. So while I understand that the 3 months binge is not necessarily sustainable, I do take rest on the other side because that's how I have to recuperate. Let's start with kind of what I've been picking up on for my hobbies. I actually went ahead and got a tarot deck, and I think it is so gorgeous. It's matte black and gold foil. And I just do dailies and we'll see what my speaking of my monthly spread, what my theme is for the month, which is not necessarily great, but that's fine. But it's just these cards are just so beautiful. Now, I've now come to learn that these are not beginner friendly, which is fine. I started a little bit on hard mode, but I actually have another deck on the way to help me learn a little bit more. But I think these are just so lovely and nice. I've been practicing with those. And it's just something to engage my brain in a different way, analyzing and kind of putting to work what maybe I would be spending on query tracker, and instead I'm okay, I've got 3 cards today, what does that mean? How can I utilize my energy? I don't look at it as speaking to spirits or anything like that. I look at it as very spicy psychology. So if I get a card that is basically the death card, let's start with the death card, because I think the death card, the devil card, things like that are very negative, in their connotation, right? But death just means an end to something. And for me, if I draw that right now, I know that it is the end of me worrying about and putting my energy into Murder Night, because I've done everything I can for now, until these other agents open up that I want to target. And that's just kind of how I'm looking at it in terms of reaching inward and figuring out what I need to work on. So speaking of Murder Night at Hotel Adair, let's go ahead and jump into a quick query update. I have 25 requests. I'm sitting at a 21% request rate, so you can do the math if you want to. And I have interest from 2 large indies that I have nudged agents on. I'm feeling very proud of myself. I'm feeling very grateful that my work is leveling up and kind of I'm putting in the work that I need to move forward. And I really just I can't fault anything. If this book goes nowhere, then it goes nowhere. But I am so proud of the work that I've done and the movement that I'm making to make this career happen. So for now, I am working on actually 2 projects, and I don't know that I want to share too much right now, because sometimes in my process, I typically do have a false start or 2, and I want to make sure before I start sharing a lot that something has legs and it will move, and it'll be worth sharing about. So for now, we're going to keep that private, but I will say one of them is moving much faster than the other. Both have first chapters that I'm really proud of. They both do very, very different things. And one feels a little bit more like a Murder Night in terms of tone, except a little bit older. I think it feels a little bit older. And then the other one is much slower, much more uncanny vibes than actual horror and gore. More like Midsummer, while the other one is like bodies, except again, older. So that is what I'm working on. And so obviously I'm hoping that some agents are going to get back to me, but I have so many fulls out right now that it's feeling slow until like somebody takes that leap of faith, right? And I feel like writers have brought this up in discords that I'm in, like, is it really just agents waiting for someone to pounce before they feel like a project has worth? And I do think that there's some truth to that. Sometimes you love something but you're waffling, and the FOMO of someone else wanting it can really tilt you into one direction. And that's why reviews exist, right? Like, if you're waffling but this review says really change their outlook on something, like, you're more willing to give it a chance. At least I feel that way. So I have 3 agents who are reading currently. They say they're reading currently, but who knows what has come up for them? Who knows, like, what their clients need? It could be anything, right? So I just need to be patient. I do think that I will nudge at the 4-month mark, which is early December, just to make sure that, like, I'm still advocating, I'm still showing interest, I'm still doing my part. I cannot just rely on them. So I know that some people say the 3-month mark, but I just nudged for editor interest, so I'm going to give them 1 more month. And I do think 4 months is honestly, like, kind of the new trend for nudging. That's not based on anything scientific that I've heard from agents. It's just kind of based on my own experience and what I feel is necessary. So that's the plan for querying. Now we're going to take Murder Night and we're going to set it aside. And we're not going to talk about it anymore, with the exception of, like, when I do updates for, like, Bitter End and things like that. So now, going into this week, on Wednesday, I actually leave for Colorado. We're doing a writer's retreat with my girls, Megan and Sierra. Megan is doing some revisions. Sierra is getting her 2nd book ready to send to her publisher out of her 3-book deal. You guys, oh my gosh, her arcs are out now, and she's getting the most stunning reviews. And, like, well-deserved. She's absolutely brilliant, and everything, every word, every sentence that she writes has this layered depth to it. So if you're like me and you like to read a little bit more shallow, like, it totally works for that. And if you are, like, more of an intellectual and you like to read, like, very in-depth world building and things like that, like, it's also going to satisfy that itch. And I feel like she has done something that so few writers can do, and I'm just so proud of her. So she's going to be working on Deadline, and then I'm working on my new stuff, which I'm really excited about. I have sent my new chapter of one of my projects to them both. Megan has actually read both first chapters, and she does think that one feels very different from the other. So I'm interested to see, like, where, I think I know where my energy is going to lie, if I'm being honest. Like, I think that I've been daydreaming a lot more about one project, whereas the other one is, like, trying to figure out how the puzzle pieces fit together. And daydreaming is a little bit more fun than puzzles sometimes for me. So we're going to be in the Rocky Mountains. It's going to be so beautiful. Go on a hike, we might go out to dinner, but mostly we're just going to be comfy cozy and working on our projects. And we meet up every year, but, like, oh, something about this year just feels so good. Like, it feels like we're gonna have magic up there, like, writing and actually focusing on ourselves instead of going to panels at Y'all Fest, which we really enjoyed and we learned a lot, but none of us are working on a YA right now, so it didn't really feel worth it to go back this year. As much as we want to support those authors and writers, like, we'll buy their books, and then we can kind of support ourselves a little bit more this year. So I'm really, really looking forward to this writer's retreat, because while we have done long weekends together and, like, we've met in real life and, like, I would consider Megan, like, my best friend, like, we haven't done like an actual writer's retreat. It's always been like with something else going on or with another event. So it'll be so fun, and I'm just looking forward to it. I fly out on Wednesday and come back on Sunday. So hopefully I'll have some fun footage for you guys. And it's probably all gonna be on my like crappy camera phone, but that's fine too. Yeah, so that'll be really excited. I do hope to vlog it, but like we'll see. So we're just gonna see where the energy takes me. I'm not like looking for like huge expectations or structure or whatever. I'm just gonna see like where my creativity brings me, because right now like that's kind of what I have to rely on. It's my intuition. I do want to talk a little bit about my Bitter End challenge, because that's still going and Bree is totally crushing me on this. All right, so for my new project, I have done character work on one of those projects, but the other one, we're kind of just pantsing. I need it to feel right so I can move on it. And if I think too much, I'm gonna get stuck in the, okay, this isn't matching up part of my brain, and it will derail some of my progress, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm not even close to drafting Act 1, and I've got 2 months left. So I'm not feeling super confident about it, but that's okay. It is what it is, and progress is the important part of this. Like, this whole challenge is just about persisting in the face of rejection. So Bree has been querying longer than me, but we're still on the same, like, we've still queried 3 projects together. Not together. We've still queried 3 projects total. And I think for me, I'm still learning a lot about my process. Has changed a bit from book to book. So, especially genre to genre, because this will be my second horror, but I've not completed a book in the same genre. I've completed a romantic fantasy, I've completed a YA dystopian, and I've completed an adult horror. So this will be my second horror. I think it's going to be adult. It feels adult right now, but I am pushing myself in a different way. It's going to be dual timeline, and that scares the ever-loving hell out of me. I have no idea how pacing works. I've got no idea how the balance of those things work. So I'm just gonna pants it, and then I'll clean it up. I'll send it to my CPs. I'll send it to Jenny Chappelli, who is just become like so dear to me. She wants to see it, so I would love to get her. I mean, she's brilliant. So brilliant. If you guys have the chance to work with her, highly recommend. Oh my gosh, the way that she talks about books, the way that she pulls things out that you can't even articulate yourself is just honestly magic. So I'll send it to her when it's ready. But like, that's like very far down the road. So if my energy keeps up the way it has in the past, I hope to have a complete manuscript around February, maybe March. But again, it really just depends. I'm not going to push myself. I have pushed myself for the last 3 books without taking breaks, and I really just need a break for this, and to go slow and to really just enjoy it again. Not that I didn't enjoy the other ones, but like, I want to indulge, I think, a bit more than just like, okay, this has to be perfect and this has to be perfect. And I just want to have some fun. So that's what I'm going to do. For querying, I actually did do a querying ritual. It was not on Halloween. I did a querying ritual for the the new moon, and then for the full beaver moon that we just had. And that was super fun. I did it with my friend Chase and his wife. And basically, it's telling me, again, I'm taking it as very spicy psychology, making me turn inward and look at how I am processing my patient, how I am keeping the joy in creating alive while the time is passing for murder night. Like, we're not in unicorn territory anymore. Like, we are persisting cockroach territory where like we're not giving up, right? It's not there. No one's going to kill us. So, and honestly, like, that's fine. That is the majority of how these stories turn out. And I'm just going to be one of them. It's just, I need to wait for my time. So I did do a ritual. It was super fun. I've also done one rejection poetry, and I need to do another one, but I've been waiting on rejections, and to be perfectly honest, I just haven't gotten any. That sounds so bad, but like, the ones that I've gotten are like so short, like form wise, it's just kind of not worth it. I'm like waiting to get a personalized one so I can have a little bit more fun with it. But to be quite honest, I'm happy to not be rejected right now. While I would love some clarity on where I stand, like, obviously a rejection means that I'm no longer in play. And I like that agents are still considering. We have decided to take away short stories and replace it with agenting. So last month I read 3 fulls, and there was one rom-com that I still can't get out of my head. It's so good, but it really needs an overhaul of the last act. My agent that I'm working with told me that I could offer an R&R if I wanted to do the work and put in all the notes. And the thing is, I don't know that I could have done a good enough job to take away time that the writer is working on the next project, because I know that having an R&R, in the past, I stopped working on Murder Night to work on my YA dystopian, and I was so hopeful for this book. And I worked really, really hard, and it was with an agent I really admired, and she would have been an absolute dream. But I don't think that her notes and my experience on revising really matched up. And while I did address every change that she had requested, I didn't do enough for her concerns to be completely eased. And that's fine. That's how this industry works, right? Like, she couldn't get past this thing, which means she can't advise me on it, and we can't go on sub together. And like, it totally makes sense. It was heartbreaking for quite a while, and I couldn't work on Murder Night for probably about a month, but it taught me a lot about revising and what it takes for an agent to send notes, because agents work so hard and long in these slush piles, and it's just a lot. It's just so much, and I don't want to do this to a writer knowing that maybe my notes are not setting her up for success. So in the end, I did opt to not give the R&R because I didn't think that I could get her to a point where my agent would sign her. And I think about her every day. Like, I just, oh man, I think if I was an agent, I would have probably offered the R&R because it would have been completely up to me. But because my agent has very specific tastes and very specific ways she wants to operate, I just didn't feel comfortable or confident, really, putting this on the writer. My heart breaks every single time I think about it. But I read 2 or 3. Now I'm like starting to like get my months mixed up. I read some more really great fulls that just like weren't quite hitting me the way I wanted it. It was very subjective. They both hit a spot in the market that I think we're going to see grow in popularity. So I'm really hopeful that these writers will either continue to revise this work or will find someone to take that on with them. So today, actually, I am planning on jumping into the slush pile for my agent. I'd love to request a couple of fulls to read on the plane while I'm flying. I'm hoping to get 4 this month. That's like my goal, because typically I tend to read fast and be very decisive. So I want to do probably 2 per plane, and then I'll just write up my notes when I get home. For reading, oh my gosh, you guys, I've not read a thing. Haven't I? Now that I've said it out loud, I think I actually have read something, but I don't remember what it was. Probably something smaller that I didn't know that I wanted to read until I picked it up. But that's just how it goes. I'm reading so many fulls right now that and maybe I'll bring a book with me for the flight if I don't feel like reading fulls. Because I think, you know what I really want to do is I want to get a dual timeline book. I think that's what I want to do. We're going to get a dual timeline book so I can kind of do a story study. And we're going to add that in here as well. For social media, obviously I've not started an accountability thread because, number 1, it's going slow. And then number 2, I'm waffling between 2 projects, which, again, I shouldn't be surprised, but Murder Night came so quickly that I don't think I had a false start between my second book and Murder Night. Maybe I did and don't remember. Actually, I think I did. I think it was a dual timeline camp horror. It was like a horror. It's like a horror romance, which I don't know why I keep telling myself I'm going to write romance. I'm not. I don't want to. I want to write about friendships. Like that's my thing. But anyway, so I've not put an accountability thread up. I likely will start one when I'm feeling a little bit more settled, but honestly, I'm going to see this as a fail. I don't think it's going to start before the end of the year. And then upload 13 videos. Oh my gosh, I'm so behind, you guys. All right, if I'm doing my math correctly, I've got my calendar in front of me. It is, if I can get this video up by tomorrow. Woo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There are 8 weeks left, and I'm pretty sure I've only done 4 videos. So 9, I would need to do 2 a week. I mean, I'm going to push myself because I really do want to see if I can do it. This is more of just a fun thing for me and something to like really dabble in. But I've had kids home sick and I've had my husband home taking random days off. So I just haven't had a chance to film. And then there were some weeks where I'm like, I don't have anything to say. There's nothing going on. And vlogging to me just feels boring if I'm not like consistently working on something. I did start and fail a vlog and just like erased everything because there was just no through line whatsoever. So I did not subject you guys to that. But yeah, so that's where that is. Horror movies, I did see The Long Walk. It was so good. Loved it. The Witch is still on my to-do list. I also want to add Talk to Me. There is something that I'm ruminating on with using in one of my new projects that Talk to Me does really well. So I'm going to do kind of a film study on there and see like if I can make it work and how they kind of use it, not as a plot device, but as something deeper as well, into what it says about the characters. So that's the goal there. Learning, I knocked these out of the water. I was amazing here. But to be honest, like learning for me has been like such a priority throughout this process for me. I have taken 2 new workshop/classes. There's a free one coming up right after before Thanksgiving. I think it's right after Thanksgiving. I've done a webinar and an AMA, and I like, these are done. These are great. I did not go on the research horror trip. It happened last week and my kids went, they had a blast. I could not justify taking off work. There were just some things happening that I needed to have my eyes on, and I knew I was taking off, coming up, and I probably could have done it, honestly, but it just didn't happen. I'm going to have to put something else in there that I don't know yet. And then my writing treat starts Wednesday, so I'm super thrilled about that. So really look for an update on this Bitter End challenge for me. I'm talking it over with Brie to like make sure everything feels copacetic and like she is happy with my changes and everything. We're not competing, but I am doing it with her. So I just like to run things by her. So, yeah, those are kind of my updates for the Bitter End challenge, and I'm feeling good. It really did help me start moving on. So that's good. So we've talked about a little bit of agenting. We talked about querying updates. I think that's it for now. This is already going to be like, hopefully I can cut it out, but like, this is going to be just a very quick update on where I am. I know that people like Alyssa in the Books are doing these daily updates for November, and honestly, like, goals. I think that's incredible. One year I will feel, empowered to do it as well, but that's just not me right now. I'm still in a very much a recovery phase. So yeah, my next video should be my writer's retreat, and I'm really, really looking forward to it. And I hope that you guys are too. I hope that you're having an incredible November, an incredible fall into winter. I hope that you are checking in with yourself to make sure that everything is going okay. And if you need to step away, step away. because there is no harm in just following what your energy and intuition tells you that you need to do for yourself. But that's it for me. Thanks for hanging out. I will catch you next time. Bye.